Hello everyone and welcome to our specialty class today. Today we're still talking about our beautiful punches, and this one especially is the one that I've been asked about. But I want to share with you today how you can bring in your designer series paper with using some of your stamped images on your tags. So I think you're going to enjoy it. So I'm going to use the Country Flower stamp set and the Country Wood Grain designer series paper to give you some ideas, because they really go hand in hand. Hi Susan. So if you come on, don't forget to say hello. I'll give everyone a couple of minutes. I'm just having a fresh cuppa. And that time went really fast. It went really fast, that half hour. Boom. So we're going to come down to my workbench. Hi Heather, how are you? Good to see you back. Watching again. Yeah, it's hello again. And I love it that you come on again. Hi Tanya. Hi Sandra, good to see you on. Hi to everyone. So let's come down to our workbench, because when I'm waiting half an hour to come back on and I'm doing stuff, it goes really fast. So I know that being on also goes really, really fast. So let's see that we've got all this happening over here. So this is the Country Wood Designer Series paper, and it's all different shades. You can get all different ones of this paper. It's absolutely beautiful pack of paper. I really love it. There's lots in this one that you can use. So we're coming back to this punch and how to make a tag. So I'm going to punch out our tag. This one's going to be just a little bit longer tag than that we've been doing in the last class, because I want to share how you can actually build it up with a stamp set as well. You don't have to just put to and from on your tags. Look at your designer series paper and choose your colour to match, or you can use black if you want to. So this one's like got wild wheat through it, and this one's sort of got like grey granite and basic grey through it. So let's start off with this one. This one I'm going to do a little bit of fussy cutting in here as well, and I'm just looking, why are my stamps not in here? Because I was cleaning them, and guess where they are? They're all in my cleaning pad here. I forgot I had them in the bottom there. Okay, so we're going to start off with the stool. Now I have used some Stays-On these, and I had run out of Stays-On cleaner, so I had been soaking them on just a little bit of water, but I'm just going to make sure that they're nice and clean before I use them. And I've got to order some Stays-On clean as well. They're pretty good if you clean them straight away, but sometimes if they get left, they can stain the stamps. Doesn't mean the stamps still aren't going to work. They're still going to work perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to come down using the stool, and I'm using the grey granite. And I'm sort of looking at areas on here, and I'm sort of looking, thinking, well, that's a nice dark area. So I'm going to use that sort of for the bold top. So down we come. Now I can use dies, but I'm just going to fussy cut these because they don't take too long to fussy cut. We're going to cut out our stool because I want no edges around them. I want them to be around because they're on the designer series paper. So I'm just going to cut on the beautiful ink marks and come down. Who loves using their designer series paper as well, like to do their tags and that? Because there's so many beautiful designer series paper, and you can use them not just for cards or scrapbooking. You can actually use them on your tags as well. So let's come down around here. And I have done it in the same sort of colouring just so that it all blends in really well. And you'll know what I mean when I get this finally cut out. Okay, so we've done the stool. And you can sort of see that it looks like a stool. And it's got the dark areas and the light areas, which is going to go really well. And we want this put down to the bottom of our colour of our tag. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to use, we can either use the teapot or we can use the jug. I'm going to use the jug, or the bucket I should say. I'm going to use the bucket on this one. Okay, and I'm coming in with the wild wheat. Going to ink that up. Now, if you don't want the handle to be part of it, you can just come through and use a wipe and take that bit of the handle away. And I'm just going to take that little bit up there as well. Okay, so we can come down and we can sort of look and have a look at this, and we can stamp this out here. And we've got our sort of without the handle virtually in it. Okay, so we're going to cut this one. So I'm going to cut this one right across here. And this is actually just using designer series paper for your images. Instead of colouring them in, you're actually using the designer series paper to make it a rustic looking tag. And it can look really lovely. Okay, so this is our little bucket cum vase that's going to sit onto our stool. Okay, so you can sort of see that we're building this up with that. And then when you're doing the flowers on top, you need to sort of work out what colours you're going to do the flowers. And I'm sort of looking that this has got like a creamy part in here, which I'm going to come in with just leaves on this one. And you can see I used Stays On it. And then I went to the Stays On cleaner and I had none left. That's okay. I have wiped it down with some alcohol, I should say, alcohol wipes, but it's still, yeah, needed a bit more. Okay, so let's have a look at this. We're sort of looking at this, and I'm sort of coming in and I'm looking at, like, we've got the white and brown. We can come down and have a little bit darker. We can have a bit lighter and darker. So it's a good place to put it. So I'm looking at Early Espresso on this one. So you can choose your colours. This will be a bit darker, so it will stand out. Choose your colours when you're using your designer series paper for your ideas. I'm just going to come in and stamp that. Okay, that looks pretty awesome. Even if I do say so, it looks pretty awesome. Okay. Come through here, and we're going to quickly cut that one out as well. I'm just cutting around it because it's easier to hold a small piece of sheet than a big sheet. And we can just come through and cut this. They do have dies, but it leaves a little bit of a border, and I don't want a border on this particular image of what I'm doing, so I'm just fussy cutting it. They're not hard to fussy cut. And that's a choice thing too. Some people like that white border or that designer series border around it. I like mine to be trimmed right up close. And like I said, it doesn't take that long to fussy cut them. So what's everyone been up to since, or what was everyone up to this morning? What was everyone doing this morning? You know, I was ringing customers this morning. So, some new customers, some old customers. I also rang my sister for her birthday. Yeah. Good morning. We had a wonderful weekend. We had our recognition day for our team. We have so much happening. Okay, so now I've got some leaves. I have a bucket and I have a stool. We need some words. And then you're sort of looking at that and you think, that's really wide, and I'm going to put these colours on here. So how can I come through and make this background a little bit more to this? So choose a colour that's going to go well with it. So I'm going to choose Old Olive, and I'm going to do Ink Direct. Who loves Ink Direct? We have one of our team members share a card that they had done with all different colours, Tanya, and that was really beautiful. But I do love Ink Direct, I really do. So it's just bringing your ink pad with your smallest one and coming in and coming over. You can press light, you can press hard. You'll get different little images through there. Okay, you can even turn it around and come back in through the other side. Okay, so you can come in and you can ink direct the cardstock, which gives it a very vintage type look. Okay, so you can even come in and make the top of this even darker, just the top part of your part of this. So that's your lacy bit. You can make it a bit darker. You can even put a bold, darker bit down the bottom here. Okay, so you can sort of bring in your tags and decorate them up with Ink Direct. And Ink Direct is really lovely. And I do like to come in from both sides and have that lines coming in from both sides. Okay, so it gives it a very unique technique. Now you can come in with one colour, you can come in with two. It depends what you want to do. We might come in with a little bit of wild wheat on here as well, because we've got the browns. And we can bring a bit of this in as well over the top. And it will give it a completely different effect. So it's a great way to do a background. If you like doing a different type of background for tags, you'll get different lines. This is a great way of doing water. Lots of different ways you can do sunsets, sunrises, all that sort of stuff you can do with Ink Direct. So it's another great technique that I love. It's a really great gold nugget. So if you haven't tried it before, give it a go, because it really is really lovely. Okay, and now you can see we're not just putting down on a white piece of card, we're actually bringing these in and they're going to stand out a lot better. I'm going to use dimensions on the back of my images today, because no one says you have to glue them down. We can have them raised up, so I'm going to raise them up. So you can see we can either have either side too. We can have a brown table, but I've actually lined it up for the grey. So I'm just going to cut some of these dimensions in half. And bring them in on the legs. Okay. So it looks a little like Ink Direct on the Designer Series paper as well, only it's not, it's the Designer Series paper. Okay, sit down, just glue that down a bit so we can get the back off it. Okay, so now we have our stool coming in from the bottom. Okay, and then we've got our pot, which is going to stand on the stool. So I'm not going to put any dimensions right down the bottom here. I'm going to put them more towards the top. Okay, and one sort of there. So that when I put this on, that's level to the, and we don't have to raise these doubly up. Okay. If we put one on the bottom, we'd have to raise these double to make them stand up the height. So we're going to come on with our pot, which is really lovely, and then we're going to come in with these beautiful leaves. Going to come in on the top of them. So once again, we just want some dimensions towards the top. We don't need to put them over all of them. Now, if you want your leaves to curl up a little bit, we're going to grab our bone folder. I bet mine, I'm going to use this little ruler, but you can use your bone folder. Mine, I think, is still packed, but you can use a ruler or a bone folder or whatever you have. And I'm just going to curve these around a little bit. Just so when they're sitting on the vase, they don't look like they're sitting flat. Take our couple of dimensions out and bring this in over our pot. You can do the flower ones as well. And then you can stamp your words up here, which I'm going to do this nice happy birthday up here. And this becomes really handy. I'm not doing that colour. Espresso. This becomes a bookmark as well. And that's what I love about these ones, is that if your friend is a reader, they can use these as a bookmark as well as a tag. So we're going to have this happy birthday up the top here. And you can sort of see you get this gorgeous bookmark, and it's done from the Designer Series paper, which is really gorgeous. You can use your linen thread to bring some tassels out through there. I'm just going to bring this up for a minute. Hello, everyone. I want to hold it up so you can really see how the Ink Direct really worked for our background. And then you can bring in your flowers. But I just want to share with you the flowers. So let's come down for 1 minute, and if you're going to do this one with the flowers, because the flowers are really gorgeous as well. So if you're going to do this, what sort of Designer Series paper would you go for? And I would go for, you could go for any pack that you wanted. So you could go with this if you wanted to. And then you could add some colouring with it, like you could colour in your leaves green, so you can colour on your Designer Series paper. You could come in with a multiple, like that one, which is this one here. You can also come in with it in just one colour if you wanted to, so you could come with it with just the which colour is this? I'm trying to think of which one, the fuchsia one, or it's a purpley colour one, but you could come in with just the plain colour if you wanted to, which is really lovely as well. Or you can even come in with something like the pinks here that you can sort of come in and then you can highlight and colour. So I'm just going to, and then, or you can even cut out from the Designer Series paper itself, you could cut out a bunch of flowers and use that in the top of the teapot or the vase. So you can already use one that's coloured. But let me just share, I'm just going to cut a square of this one. Down here. Okay, let me just share this one with you. If you wanted to bring in flowers instead of the leaves on yours, okay, I'm just going to clean my... If your stamps don't stick, it's because they're dirty. Give them a bit of a wash in some warm soapy water. These ones especially. And then, yeah, make sure that they stick down onto your blocks, okay. Okay, so let's do this one. And we'll do it in, I'm trying to think what colour. Let's go with the reddish cherry cobbler colour. Okay, so we're going to come down with this over this. And you can sort of see you get the pink, so you can just do it that way. But what if you wanted to just bring in a blend of colour? Because the cherry cobbler is a water-type ink, you can use your blender pens. These are really fantastic. And you can blend the colour down a little bit from that ink that you've just brought in and stamped it. And I'll just show you in just 1 minute. Just let me get the colour onto it. Now, if you wanted it a bit darker, you still could come in a bit darker. You could, I don't know, oh, let me just bring this up a fraction, sorry. I'm trying to get the light right. So you can sort of see that by blending it in with your blends, you'll get that the distinct blend because of the cherry cobbler, so you can do your leaves and things like that. But what if you wanted to brighten it up, add a little bit more colour to it? Always use your block or something. I don't use my ink pads, and I don't squeeze these new ink pads together because they're more inclined to crack, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to here, and then I can just add a little bit more colour up into my flowers. Okay, so you can sort of blend, but you can actually colour over your designer series paper and get a fantastic result. Okay, so just bring in your leaves. You can do all your leaves. I'm just doing it all in one colour, but you can do greens, you can do it in all separate colours. I'm just coming in with the one colour today, just to show you. Okay, so we do our leaves down here. And you can see that I've only dipped into the ink a couple of times because it really stays into these pens and it just gets lighter as we go along. If you want it a bit darker, just add a bit more colour. And you can just sort of see that you can do this. Okay, so then we've got the flowers itself. So you can come in with the flowers. You can leave them the pink if you want to, or you can just come out and just highlight them a little bit from the center and make them a little bit darker from the center out. And you can still use the color of the designer series paper for the outer edge. I'll hold this up in just 1 minute for you. And as you can see, you can do it lighter or darker. It just depends what you want and what effect you want. So makes it interesting colouring on designer series paper, but it's really lovely to do this because you get a very different effect because of what's in your designer series paper as well. And just mark the colours that you want. Okay, we'll just colour up here a little bit. Okay, so you can sort of see you're going to get this gorgeous colours depending, but you can do them in the pinks, you can do the leaves in the green, you can do them in any colour. I've just gone with the one colour. How do you clean your blender pen? Very simple. Just grab a scrap piece of white card and just work it backwards and forwards until it becomes clear. It will stain whatever colour you've been using, but once it comes clear on your paper, you'll be able to put the lid back on it and you'll be able to use it for the other. Now the blends come in a set of 3 and they have 1 at each end, so that gives you 6 that you can work with. Don't forget to store them horizontal. Don't store them vertical like this because you'll dry this end out. So do it this way. Now you can just do the same with this. If you wanted to tone this up a little bit in different colours, you could come through with your blender and bring a little bit more brown into the areas where you wanted to. So that's showing you how you can actually do a beautiful gift tag as a bookmark for someone, and you can do any of our stamp sets on them. They're absolutely gorgeous. You can put a little bit of linen thread or twine through the top there and just tie it. You can even make a little loop or whatever you like up there, a bow, whatever you want. But they are really gorgeous, and Stamp Direct is one of my favourite back techniques for a vintage type card or water or sunsets. So I hope that helped. I'll see you all over in Technique class at 3 o'clock. If you're in the Technique class, if you're not in Technique class and you'd like to join, just let me know and I can join you into that as well. And we'll be sharing some more on how to use this bookmark. How to use this beautiful punch, I should say, our tag punch. So I hope you enjoy some of our creativity today. God bless you all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.